Welcome back to Independent Conversations. Thank you for watching. My name is Todd. Like, comment, subscribe. Now, today we're going to take a trip down memory lane for me, and we're going to discuss labor. Now, let's talk about memory lane for me. I don't know if I've ever discussed this per se, but my own personal background, I come from an actual labor union family. My mother, since about a little under 20 years, forgive me if I keep moving the camera around. You try filming a video with one good hand. So, my mother, she actually was the pension head of a very small union out of Buffalo, New York, and she was in charge of the retirement benefits for that union. Very prestigious job. And it was a union just like any other union, and it was solely for janitorial work for hospital workers. Moms. And I mean that Saya's, and I miss her because she's no longer on this earth. So the reason why I'm bringing her up is because through my mother's dealings, I got to see firsthand how the labor movement and political movements intertwine and how each can damage each other, especially how politics can damage the labor movement. My mother's no longer on this earth. And if she saw that the original Jimmy Hoffa Teamsters Union labor movement is pretty much dead, it would just break her heart. So how do we rectify this? How do we go back from, reversing right to work, getting the ProAct passed, stuff like that? Well, we can't count on the Fed. I'm sorry. And what I mean by Fed is not federal, like the federal banking system, because that's, let me clarify. What I mean by Congress, Senate, because divided government rarely passes anything except spending bills and defense. It would be nice if they came together and did some common good things, but when you got the inmates running the asylum, I wouldn't be surprised if they crash the economy first before they do something good. But that's just my own pessimism. So let's talk about how we get our labor movement back. Now let's say in 2024, now this is just a hypothetical, I don't know this information. Biden runs, Biden gets a clean sweep, but I do think Biden, even in the best case scenario, would get a 50-50 Senate and a blue house as a best case scenario. Could he get the ProAct? Only if Democrats finally nuked the filibuster. So, would they? If Ruben Gallego took Arizona, Joe Manchin lost West Virginia, decided not to run, because he's currently losing by 29 points right now. So there is possibilities, but all my years in politics, both in and also doing this side job, I've become more pessimistic than ever. But the only really hope we have is statewide. We take the ProAct and also making the right to work, reversing right to work to the ballot box in 2024. That should be our issues going into 2024. The states that are right to work states, put it on the ballot. Prepare to put it on the ballot. Get the signatures. Put it on the ballot. Vote on it in 2024. I see no reason why this shouldn't pass easily. If places like Kansas pass reproductive rights for women, labor should pass easily. Because also, I've said this before in other videos, my city, Tucson, when Kristen Sinema did her famous thumbs down thing for $15 minimum wage, Tucson, Arizona, which is run by its first Democratic woman ever, went and put $15 minimum wage on the ballot exactly like the American Rescue Plan had intended, 4 years gradual. And guess what? We have been getting steady increases ever since then. So we're 2 years away from 15 minimum because we adopted the same method that was intended for the American Rescue Plan. Voters are smarter than politicians think. And I think it's time that we show them that by doing basically their job for them. Because Congress becomes a place of complicity. They like not doing anything. And also, Congress can be a place, Congress, Senate, if you ever look at their calendar, they're not even there half a year. And they get $174,000 a year plus ginormous tax benefits. Do they even put in 40 hours a month? It's a totally unfair system, and they don't deliver the goods. It's time to remind them of what, especially as we head into the 2020, we're gearing up for a major presidential election. I think this needs to be on the ballot in 2024.